Peter, your speech tonight, very interesting. It's about knowledge-driven culture. It's an intriguing term, but could you just say how knowledge-driven culture is making a difference right now in Telefonica?
Yeah, to give an example, our campaign management team are able to evaluate campaigns within 24 hours and throughout the in-life of it, in terms of the difference, the results it's achieving against target, but also against control groups. This allows us to what we call fast correct, which is to tweak the campaigns in life to improve the results, or to kill them, or to invest more in them because they're really going well. It gets a much better result than a long-term wait before doing an evaluation.
So that's quite a specific example of how you've got a kind of process and systems around which generates value for this. So tracking back then, how did a knowledge-driven culture create that as a solution, and what do you need to put in place, or what have you put in place at Telefonica?
Yeah, I think the first thing to say is the technology is pretty much the easy bit, maybe the expensive bit, but it's the easy bit. The way we achieve, to build on that example, the way we achieve that is to working with the business on what are the success criteria, what is the business objective that we're trying to achieve, and to be very focused on that and to be clear on that rather than flexible as the results come in, moving the dial a little bit. Then working with the business in terms of how will we know what the measure, or having defined the measure of success, how will we know that we've achieved them? Literally, where is the data? What are the data points that we will use to measure that? What are the lead indicators so we can do it early if it's something like customers will stay with us a long time? That's very much business owned, business led, because it's their results. And then we've put in place the technology to support what the business needs and focusing on what matters most, not trying to build it for every possible scenario.
And culture is one of those really difficult things. Cultural change is one of those really difficult things to achieve. It's easy to describe, but actually tremendously difficult to achieve.
Yeah, we've had a big journey.
And what would you say is the kind of one or two takeaways about what you've learned about how to make that cultural change that you think other people could do more of?
Well, I think we've taken a journey from a very intuition-driven company, a pure kind of marketing company, to much more of a fact-based decisions driven company. And that's been quite a significant journey that continues. The big takeaway is business ownership. Focusing on identifying and focusing on what matters most, and then shared ownership, collaboratively making available or identifying the data needed to make available the measures of success as early as possible so that success can be managed. And it's a bit like the tactics in the game or discussing the results after the game. You can use the tactics in the game to achieve the results.
Peter McKenna, thank you very much.